Hello people, welcome to Pascal Concept Photography YouTube channel. This is not a retouching tutorial, but just a quick tutorial on how to really add one or two things to your image to just make it pop. You know, the colors and just little things. It's not a long tutorial, but it's going to be of help to one or two people out there. And thanks for subscribing to this channel. You're really concerned about our growth. Thanks for telling your friends about it. You can share when you like these videos and all. Share. Let me know what you want me to work on next. In this tutorial, this is really the main image. This is the finished image. This was how it was after retouching and all, and then this is the main thing this tutorial is all about. How I added all of these things. You know, I made the clothes, the shirt inside whiter, you know, the bronze, the pocket square. I made the color pop out, and then the background too. I added a texture. It's actually a picture. So if you check in the description of this video, all these images, you know, for the background to overlay on the background is in the description. Then this same image is also in the description. You can download it to practice, or you can just use any image you think will really go well. This is not really the main thing, you know. You can always use your image. It's just to show you how you can do it. And I would really love you to follow me on Instagram at Pascal Concept Photography. You can tag me after editing your own image if this tutorial was really of help to you. Alright, so let's get started. Now I'll go to where I have it. This is the sample image. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, image is too flat, the background is plain, it's too plain. So what you need to do, just select the background. So what you need to do, you come to your select, you know, on the latter version of Photoshop you see select image, is subject. Just select your subject and do all of those. So but if you don't have such, if you're using this lower version of Photoshop, now you come to your selects, you know, just my color range, or you can use any method to just make your selection. You can use your polygonal lasso tool to make selections and all, but since this is the background that is more or less like a single color, so it can really select a wider range at a very faster pace. So now I have this. Okay, I can add more, so I can select. Now click on OK. So my image is selected, but there are part of the image that I don't want selected. So you can pick your lasso tool or your quick selection tool, or zoom in. So that, let me do this. Okay. Alright, so I'll pause this tutorial. I'll just make the quick selection, then I'll resume the tutorial back. Okay, so now I'm done selecting my image. I'm done selecting the background. The next thing to do, you right click, you know, your quick selection tool is still selected, or then right click, feather between 2 to 3, depends. So let me use 2. Then copy, Ctrl C on your keyboard, or Command and C, then paste, Ctrl V, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. So it's pasted already here. So this was our selection. This was what was selected. It mustn't really be accurate like 100% selection, but I have a tutorial on my channel, this tutorial here. You can watch it too, and then you see how you add texture to your background. It's almost the same thing here. So now drag in. Okay, I named this the shadow of window on the wall. Just place it here, expand it to cover the whole image. Then the next thing to do is to clip it. You clip this layer into this background layer. To clip, you press on Alt key on your keyboard, and then you see your cursor will change to this arrow. Then in between the two layers you click. So this is already clipped. Or better still, if you want to use a shortcut to clip any layer to the next layer, you just click on Ctrl plus Alt plus G on your keyboard, or Command plus Alt and G on your keyboard. So the upper layer will be automatically clipped to the lower layer. So you select this layer, Ctrl Alt and G to bring it down. But this is not perfect. Now don't worry, just continue. Then the next thing you do is to change the blend mode of this layer, the overlay layer. Change it from normal to overlay. Then reduce the opacity. Okay, for me this is still much, and then the background is sharp. I don't really want it that way. I can just rasterize this layer. Now I'll go to my blur, I'll add a bit of blur. I can add either lens blur or Gaussian blur. So it's Gaussian blur I'm going to use, and then I can put it at 20, then okay. I think it's, then I can reduce the opacity the more. Alright, so if I hide it, I can reduce it the more. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Then the next thing I want to do, because this is a white t-shirt, is a white shirt, but I guess due to the color grading, the first color grading that was done, it already has a bit of yellow, red, stuff like that. So I can now, you don't need to flatten, you can just create a visible layer. You know, you create this matte visible layer, and then you can use a shortcut, Control plus Alt plus Shift and E on your keyboard, or Windows plus Alt and Shift and E on your keyboard. Control Shift Alt E, create a matte visible layer. You know, that means everything you've done here, you have it on a single layer. Then the next thing you do is make a selection of that portion. You know, is this white? It's no more as white as it should be. I want to make it whiter. Select it, moving up, make a selection. My selection. Okay. All right, I'm good to go. So now, just as we did to the background, right click, feather between 2 to 3. So now you now come to hue and saturation from the adjustment layer. Hue and saturation, reduce your saturation, increase your lightness. If you think you're okay, good, and if not, you can just add shape curves to increase the brightness of the white. So what you notice there is that the curve, the adjustments of that brightness was added to the whole image, but that's not what we want. We want it applied to only the white shades. So what you need to do is to clip it back to this. You clip this curve to this hue and saturation layer, that's selected area. Then the shortcut, Control Alt or Command plus Alt plus G on your keyboard. Okay. Control So what you need to do is to clip this this curve. You clip it to this. you click it to this selected mask, that white portion that was selected. So now you can see it's only applied to the white part. Then you can still create the same thing, create another visible, matte visible layer, or better still just work on this layer, but for clarity and to make it more simple and straightforward, you can create another matte visible layer. Now we have this. I want to make the red to pop up, to make it pop. I'll select the red, the branch and the pocket square selected. Follow the same pattern between 2 to 3. It depends on your image and where you are selecting. Now I'll come to hue and saturation again. This is red. Select red. You can increase the saturation of your red, but can you see if I take it to 100%, reduce? So this is red. I think I'm okay at this point. I can make it brighter, add your curves, increase, just like we did earlier. The old brightness curves effects applies to the whole image, but that's not what we want. You want it only on this red part. Now you clip that area again, that this curves to, clip it to this hue and saturation to Control Alt G. So now you can see that's the brightness, this to this. Okay, what next? I am good to go.